guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Briana, and in today's video I'm going to say trigger warning because we are going to be talking about DV, and if you are sensitive to this topic, I advise you to get off. Alright, you had your chance. And so in today's video, we're going to be talking about Briana and Rowan. So if y'all don't know who this couple is, they were on social media, Bigos and TikTok. And Briana came out with her series explaining her DV that she sustained, or DV that she was a victim of while she was in a relationship with Rowan.
It's been a really long and tough couple of nights, and I guess day or so, because this thing happened yesterday. But I did want to come over here, and because I already posted these pictures, which I know are gruesome and not self-explanatory, I did want to come on here and kind of explain what happened with everything. So this might be a multi-part, not a series, but I guess video, because I don't want to be talking on here for 20 minutes. But I did want to come here and talk about pretty much what happened. Just to start, this is a really heavy source of pain for me. Sorry. It's been really hectic. So basically, long story short, I'll start the situation from when I left town. I decided to go on a trip with my mom. Originally, my sister was supposed to come on the trip. I don't even want to get into the weeds of that and make this about my sisters. I've been seeing comments and their contributions that are extremely negative. It was all relative to this European trip that we were supposed to take. They didn't end up coming, or one of my sisters didn't, and that just became its own thing, which is now why they're, I guess, showing support for this guy. I don't want to get into that. I just leave it to them and their platforms, whatever. But we were planning this trip and I booked the tickets. The reason that I did not want to go to Europe with Ronan is because honestly, I just want to be honest with you guys. He couldn't afford it. And I know that if he was going to come out there and we were going to go to all of these beach clubs and restaurants, I was going to be taking on the bulk, if not all, of the financial responsibility, as was pretty standard in the relationship, because he does not have a job. So I was going to be taking on the bulk of that, and I did not want that. So I did not invite him to Europe, and I didn't think it was a good idea that we even went together, because right before the Europe trip, he had gotten caught cheating with someone like down the street. It was like this big thing, and I don't want to get into that either. But I just did not. I had checked out and I stopped wanting to be with him. And that is why I stopped posting content with him. I had originally stopped posting content because I did not want to be in a relationship with him anymore. I also had a real guilt in my heart about the fact that I knew what was happening behind closed doors, and I know what I stand for. I know I'm a girl's girl. I know I'm an advocate for, I know I'm an advocate for women and empowerment and information exchange and love and honor and all of those things. And what was going on behind closed doors with us did not align with the things that I promote and take pride in publicly. So I wanted to take this trip, and I ended up booking it. He was very upset that I booked it. He wanted me to take him. He wanted me to pay for him to go. At one point, he asked me to put him on my car loan so that he could take out a loan to go to the trip, and he would pay. They could use my car as collateral or something like that. I was like, no, I just want to go by myself, and I ended up going. I ended up booking this trip. My mom ended up coming because all of this fallout happened with my sisters or whatever. And on the trip, I had decided to separate myself from him. Now, I want to start with the day before I left. The day that I left. The day that I left, he actually tried to make me miss my flight. The entire day was physically assaulted me. He sprained my toe. I had bruises from head to toe. He just hurt me, and he just kept on physically assaulting me. And again, I think it was because he just didn't want me to go, and I almost didn't even make the trip. I actually was 5 minutes. I got to the airport at 4:03 and the flight left to Europe, to Ibiza, at 4:50. They told me I was originally not going to get on the flight, and I actually ended up getting on the flight because I was crying and limping and like, no, I planned this whole thing. My mom's waiting for me in Spain. What am I going to do? So they literally let me check my flight. I already checked in the car, but they let me check my bag and such, so we were good. But leading up to me going to Ibiza was hell. I was physically assaulted over and over and over again for hours and hours and hours on end, to which I made my family aware and such. And that, in conjunction with his cheating, in conjunction with his inability to provide or keep a stable job, are the reasons that I was like, this Europe trip is going to be time that I use to reflect, to cut him off. Okay, so I just want to end this part with saying that I decided to go on a trip. I decided that during the trip we would go our separate ways, and the trip was for me to find myself again. And he abused me prior to the trip, like the day of me going to the trip, so it just like further confirmed that we would never work. And I made sure I called my building before I left, because I was able to get him out of my apartment. He wanted to stay when I was gone. I did not want him in my apartment, did not want him driving my car. I took my keys with me. I locked the door. That was a huge fight. Oh my God, it took me hours to get out, but I made sure, and I called down to my building for proof. I have a witness that I told them, do not let anybody in my apartment while I'm gone. There are no authorized guests. There was no authorized guest. Nobody can go in my apartment. Do not let anybody in my unit. And then I flew to Europe.
And so she did this series and she broke it down, and she talked about how, you know, a trip that she had paid to go to for Europe for herself, and Rowan wanted her to pay for his portion of the trip, and she didn't want to, because she knew had she gone on this trip with him, she was going to have to pay for everything for him, because he didn't have it like that, at least not like her, because Brianna is a beautiful girl. She lives in a high-rise apartment. She has a great career. She's an attorney. She has a child, at least one child that we know of. And she, you know, she has it together, like, as far as like for what we can see, which is why it's so surprising that she was in a relationship with a man who was less than her and was not on the same caliber as her. Which is why it's really shocking and surprising. But she was brave enough to come out and tell her story, because people were already speculating, was there DV happening behind the scenes? Because they were on Beagle's Live one day, and I guess she came on with bruises on her body, and someone asked her, are you in a DV relationship, with the guy right next to her, which I thought was like batshit crazy, because I'm like, why would you ask her that on live first, and also with the guy in the room right next to her? And you can tell from like his behavior, he has a very aggressive energy. His nature is just very aggressive. His tone, how he talks, everything, right? And so it's just unfortunate that this young lady had to go through this with him. And so now she comes out to say that her sisters and her mom are siding with Rowan on all of this, and it's just completely unfortunate, because it's like the people that I'm assuming she grew up with in the same household. How could you take the side of my abuser and not listen to me? Like, she has physical evidence of the abuse. Like, she, like, her eye, her is bruised, it's red in the inside. Like, you can see the damage that he has done physically, not only mentally but physically, to this woman. It's very traumatizing, and I hate that this has ever happened to her, and I hate that what we would assume would be our support system to not be there to support her, but to be against her. It's really sad. And so she talks about this Europe trip, right? And she didn't want him to go. And sis barely made it to the airport because he was banging her up before she could even get out. And as she was leaving, she told her security at her apartment building to not let this man back in. But what happens? The security and Rowan are friends, and so apparently they let him back in, which sounds to me, sis has a lawsuit on her hands, because the security guards were not negligent, because they intentionally did an act against her wishes, against the person who pays the lease of that apartment building, and they let that man in, and he abused and did whatever to her, acted and put her in fear of her life, in fear of her safety, you know, against her wishes, against what she asked. And so when she went to the hospital, the damage was so bad, like it was so heartbreaking, that the people at the hospital were praying over her, the nurses, the doctors, anyone she said she was coming in contact with, they were praying over her because of like how she looked and what happened to her. And so She couldn't go back to her apartment building. As she was telling the story, she was actually at a hotel and she wanted to go back home. She wanted to call her child, but she could not FaceTime her child because she did not want to be able to explain to her child what happened, because she could not, because the child would have questions because she had bruises on her face, like a red mark in her eye. Like, y'all, it was so bad. And so now Rowan is apparently on the run, girl, and he did an interview with Rica Rosa.
Interviewing a violently dangerous man on the run is everything I needed to know about Rick Rosa. Because the way that you were setting up these questions for him to answer, it was pretty low, even for you, Rick. Now, before we get into the details of Rick Rosa interviewing Ronan Campbell, we actually have to start from the beginning. The story actually begins with Brianna, and she chronicalizes a 7-part series, which I'm going to tag below, and I highly encourage you to watch, about how she went on vacation, and when she returned home, her ex-boyfriend, who goes by the name of Ronan Campbell, basically assaulted her. Not basically, he did. You can see the black eye. And in her 7-part series, she chronicalizes how she fought to get out of the apartment and get away from his clutches simply to get help, all at the same time, while her sisters and her mother sided with her ex-boyfriend. Now let's get into the snippets of Rick Rosa's interview.
Say I smushed her, or like, you know what I'm saying, mushed her in the face.
Mm-hmm. So pretty much it was her being an antagonizer, her being aggressive, and you pretty much trying to get away from the situation. But for that black eye to affect, was it given like a backhand? Did you mush her like to push her away?
It was like this, open palm.
Open palm. Okay. So in the midst of the open palm, she ended up falling, or what happened after that?
She fell.
This does not look like the face of a woman who fell. Look at her face and tell me she did not fall. You closed fist punched her in the face. And for Rick to set up the question and ask him, "Oh, so she fell? So she was being aggressive and she fell?" Like, seriously, is this what we're doing on the internet for entertainment? But the interview does continue.
So is it that you guys are used to tussling with each other, or are you used to her abusing you and you just taking it, and this time you just finally snap?
I just want to let Rick Rosa know that you coddling this man and siding with him is not going to get him any closer to sleeping with you. You being a pick-me for an abuser is absolutely the most disgusting thing I have seen on the internet in a very, very, very long time. And you should absolutely be ashamed of yourself.
On social media, and basically it was a very distasteful interview. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings about it, because basically how it came off is that the interviewer was coddling Rowan in regards to like what he did to her, and not holding him accountable and holding his feet to the fire, and kind of making an excuse and trying to blame her as to her being a part of the problem, or her being part of the reason why she was beat up and bruised the way she was.
Can't process it. You still can't. You don't get it. And nothing up until the fucking headphone situation was any type of like, there's no way that should make you feel like you need some space from me. There's nothing that happened today besides that shit right there, which I can honestly, it's like, I need to control my fucking self. I do, it's fucked up. And I can admit when I'm wrong, but before that, there was fucking nothing that happened for you to be acting like this. Act so fucking checked out.
I don't like the way that you speak to me.
I get it. I don't
You
like
don't
the shit
get
that
it.
you do.
You talk to me crazy
It is
every
a
day.
No, the fuck it's not.
You do every day.
No, the fuck it's not.
And then when you talk to me, you call me names. You destroy. Why do you think you can destroy my property? Like, why? And I don't know why you just projected on me the fact that you didn't. This weren't $400, first of all. But the fact.
Give me the.
No, they're mine. You already gave them for me.
I don't give a fuck no more. You're
No.
ungrateful, nigga. I
You
don't
just
have
said-
shit. I don't have shit. Do you understand that? And I still went and bought the shit. I just got the $200 right now, and I spent it.
You just bought the headphones because
Stupid fucking bro.
you
I don't have my rent.
Okay.
And I still bought it right now. So
Ronan,
you can be fine.
Ronan.
You're still bitching about it.
Ronan, I'm not bitching. I'm telling you that you did not. Ronan, first of all, you are the one who broke my headphones. So the fact that
I understand
so that you had to
but
replace
it could have been a week,
them.
it could have been whatever until I had the money and I was comfortable, or at least until I paid my fucking rent. Instead, I said no. I was fucked up, and I went in there immediately and got them.
All right, I'll just give it to you back then. I'll pay for them.
What the fuck is wrong
I'll
with
give
you?
them to you back because look how you're acting.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't want to.
What is wrong with you?
I'm confused.
What is wrong with you?
I'm confused. I'm literally confused as to why you're acting this way.
What is wrong with you, nigga?
Because I don't want to have a conversation with you and you act like this. You don't understand.
What is wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me. I feel like I want to go work out right now. That's all I want to do.
You just fucking threw up. Shut the fuck up and sit here and clean the fucking house or something. Put your fucking dishes away. Clean your dishes, bro. Relax. You just finished working out. Relax.
And so, people are also speculating that Rowan is a part of the LGBTQIA community because he has connections to Jason Lee.
All right. So last night I made a video about Ronan and directed it to the young lady who experienced harm from him. Now I'm about to make a video, and this is probably the messiest thing that I have put on TikTok thus far, but I have no regrets because I was just on my sis Nosy's page, and Ronan is on the run, and Rick Rosa did an interview with him. Here's my thing. So I'm gonna try to break this up into different pieces of why I'm saying this and what is egregious past what he did to that young girl. One, Ronan's history of utilizing and extracting from the queer community is legendary. He is the type of trade who will run to the gays, the theys, and the dolls when he's homeless, when he's down on his luck, when he needs to be platformed. And then as soon as he gets enough money to get his account to zero, he gonna be back over there with the bio girls. And he's that motherfucker who will see you in the club after y'all done fucked the night before, act like he don't know you, but will be punching the wall if you're there with somebody else. So a queer person giving him a platform is in itself just absurd at this point. Anybody who's been in the streets with him remembers when him and Ricky were all cool in LA, like he was the only non-content creator with that crew of guys who were doing content creation, 2022, 2023 or whatever. And because that was when I was in LA a lot. Because at that point, I knew I was getting a place in Atlanta and I was working in New York, but I was going to get a small place in LA because I wanted to do more writing. And that was one of the things that I was going to focus on. And so that in itself is out of line. Two, okay, let's say you don't know what really Rick is like, I just don't know what really happened and I want to give him a platform. I don't feel like those views are enough for that type of mess to be a part of. And also maybe my approach to what is enough and worth it is different from other people. So let me just hold that. Last but not least, these are the times also where I feel like it's important to talk about the ways that gay men should not be absolved. Black gay men should not be absolved from their responsibility of protecting black women. Black gay men should not be absolved of how they engage with the patriarchy. And even when they are in a wig, lipstick, and a face full of makeup, still benefit from that system. And how people's perception of that behavior often rolls downhill to how people perceive Black trans women, because a lot of people don't have the discernment, the intellect, or the desire to recognize the difference from how a Rick or a Santana shows up, or even I think Alonzo was using they and them pronouns and now, but for a while it was they were not trans, how they show up in their journey compared to mine, right? And this is just a trifling example. And you would think I think I've spoken about Rick 3 times at this point. I don't know that man personally. I don't have any issues with him. I do see him have a significant platform, and I'm like, why? And Rick is in these streets. Rick knows a little bit of everybody's tea. That's a part of his business. He's in PR. You know who that boy is. You know how that boy get down. And you know why he hit that girl. She probably found his Grindr messages, or she probably found his Jason or one of them sent him a Cash App. Like, you probably saw that. And Miss Thing asked the question, and then she got abused for it. So, yeah. No, that boy is weird as fuck.
That man beat that girl black and blue because she didn't want to pay his way for a Europe trip. Y'all have to go watch that story time. I'm going to leave her name down below. So this girl, LoveXBriana, from just looking at her page, it looks like she's an attorney. She graduated from Harvard. She's a content creator. She got her body all nice and stuff, looking good. She does high class things. She has hobbies. But yet, she was being with a man that couldn't even keep a damn job. So she planned this trip to Europe, right? And she didn't include him because she said she knew that he was going to want her to pay for everything. And she didn't want to do that. Rightfully so. So he told her, take out a loan on her car or take out a loan on her something. Take out a loan so he could go on the trip with her. She said, no, I'm good. The day of her trip, she almost missed her flight because he was trying to knock her head between the washer and dryer, choking her up, like hitting her. Somehow she got away. She caught her flight, went to Europe. She wasn't talking to him on the trip. And then whenever she came back, he was standing in front of her building, walked up to the cab that she was in, got her bags out, and said, let's go. She's like, no, I don't want to go upstairs with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. She get in the building. The security guard's trying to like move him away from her. Like, she said she don't want to talk to you. Like, leave. He said no. But he then kind of became friends with the security guards. Now, while she was on her trip, she told them people, don't let nobody in my apartment. Why the security guards let that man in the apartment? And God knows what he took. That night he left. Next day he came back and he like forced his way into her apartment and started like beat up again. And that's how she got that black eye. She sprained her toe. She got bruises everywhere. She got a concussion. And he tried to force himself on her. She all bloody and stuff. And she feel like something is wrong. Like, I'm gonna die here. So she told him, take her to the hospital. He ended up trying to take her to the hospital. They got in a parking garage and she seen somebody and she just started yelling and being all hysterical. So the guy came over to her rescue, but the dude, the boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, he like threw her over his shoulder and started running into the building. When they got to the elevator, she wouldn't let him like close her up in there. So then the guy, the one that was supposed to be saving her, he come right behind them and he's like, dude, leave her alone, let her go. And he listened to that man, but he want to beat on women. So once the dude left, they went to the front desk and she's telling the front desk girl, call the police. The front desk girl just staring at her because they have so much security at her apartment. And she's like, how did he get up there? It's because that security girl was letting him in. So now that she's seeing the outcome of her doings face to face, she all stuck and froze. Don't be froze now. Call the police. They ended up calling the police, the ambulance and everything, and now she's okay. She's healing. And then he's posting conversations between him and her sister on either Facebook or Instagram. Her sisters are in support of him and not her. Apparently the sisters want to be content creators and it seems like they're jealous because she's the successful one and they're not. And then the mom ain't no better because I'm assuming Brianna posted something and they're mad at Brianna because they're like, why are you doing this? You're not protecting the family. Where was the family at when this man was doing all this stuff to me and y'all are on his side?
Girl, look, family or not, you can choose your family at this point. You don't have to be family with them people. And that man, I'm still mind boggled because how was that man even able to breathe in your direction? I'm confused. Super accomplished woman. It seemed like you have it all together. How did I don't know. I don't know.
So if y'all don't know who Jason Lee is, he is a black man or a biracial man, and he's gay, and he has his own podcast. Y'all, it keeps deleting. Oh my god, like this video is not saving. So, but Jason Lee, people believe he's a part of the LGBT community or on the DL because he is connected to Jason Lee, who is a popular gay man on the internet. So a lot of people believe because he is part of the because he's a part of the LGBTQ community and seemingly on the DL, he has suppressed anger, he can't live in his truth, and so he takes that out on Brianna. That is what some people are thinking. And he's also homosexual, meaning he hops from couch to couch, maybe using his looks and charms to get what he wants out of people, to get what he wants and get what he can. He's a loser, he's an abuser. And you know, and that's just what it is at the end of the story. He's an user, abuser, loser. That's exactly what he is. And it just also goes to show that, oh, he also said that he wasn't a part of the DL community. Girl, who knows? But it also goes to show that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes of these content creators, because from the outside looking in, I would have never guessed it. Like before I saw her series, I would have never known she was going through that behind the scenes. But I know people did speculate on Bigos because she had bruises on her body or something of the sort at one point. Yeah, it's unfortunate that this happened, but she is back home. She seems to be in a better space now. She's sharing her story to maybe be a voice for those who are going through the same thing, or just to get it out there what was really going on, because they were in a public relationship on social media and people were already speculating, right? But nevertheless, I'm going to end this in case it does not save, because girl, I'm going to be so upset if it doesn't. Like, I'm going to be over it. But anyways, you guys, my name is Brittany Janae. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.